Welcome back, everyone, to the Arizona Diamondbacks franchise here on MLB The Show 19. As today, last episode, we had opening day against the San Diego Padres. It didn't go too well. Our Diamondbacks got absolutely murdered, 6-0. But in today's, we'll be going over the minor league opening days. So AA opening game, AAA opening game, and then our game against the San Francisco Giants. So quite a busy episode. All three games were really close, so get your popcorn ready. This is going to be a good one, folks. So first, we got to look at the AA squad. Of course, headlined by guys like Daniel Sexton, Wander Franco, among others. I think the most interesting player in the lineup has to be Sexton, as he was a pretty high draft pick last year. He's already a 75 overall, but he's only 18 and he does have room to grow. Then looking at the rotation, we get to see Emmet Casillas make his debut. Emmet was the number 2 overall pick in last year's MLB draft. He's currently the number 1 prospect in all of baseball. So that is quite cool. And you guys get a good look at him today, as the Jackson Generals, which is the Diamondbacks AA affiliate, will be set to take on the Biloxi Shuckers, which is the AA affiliate of the Milwaukee Brewers. As quick look at some of your favorite Jackson General players. And on the mound today for the Generals will be none other than the 19-year-old lefty Emmet Casillas, number 2 overall, making his debut in the organization, trying to make a statement to the Diamondbacks, as their rotation does sort of have some question marks for the future. Guys like Touki Toussaint, John Duplantier, they need to prove it, as his first at-bat will be a ground out to third, and then his first career strikeout, an absolute beauty, low curveball, 1-2-3 inning for Emmet Casillas. Adam Hill on the mound today for Biloxi. The 23-year-old has a very solid skill set, and he does have some nice upside for the future, as his first batter would be Daniel Sexton. Sexton's first at-bat as a General would go awfully deep. Warning track power, however, would be caught by the left fielder for first out of the frame. Now 2 outs for Dalton Varsho, the catcher. He's going to go down on the fastball. Nice pitch from Hill. And let's go to the second inning. That's Troy Stokes Jr. taking one deep into left field. And the Shuckers will take a 1-0 lead. The home run from Troy Stokes Jr. as Emmet Casillas had a great first inning, but that one ain't too pretty right there. So now on the bottom of the second, Christian Walker will get the single. Walker was with the Major League team in 2019, played with the AAA team in 2020, so he's going down each year, I guess. And then Jared Kelenic, the journeyman, would strike out. So now let's go to the top of the third. Biloxi trying to add in some extra runs as Daniel Sexton misses it, and that'll be a 1-out double for Biloxi. An awful throw, by the way, from, I think that was Daniel Sexton, might be Jared Kelenic, one of those two guys. And then sure enough, the Shuckers would be able to score that runner regardless, as that's going to be a 2-run dinger. Now 3-0 lead, as that's going to be Betancourt, the leadoff hitter. So now it's 3-0 as Troy Stokes would strike out here. Now let's go bottom 3. Emmet Casillas up at the dish. His first career at bat will be a liner to shortstop, as Casillas not really much of a threat at the plate. And then 2 outs now. Daniel Sexton up, and he's going to rip one through the middle just a little, as that will be Daniel Sexton's first hit as a member of the Diamondbacks organization. However, it wouldn't matter, as Wander Franco unable to beat out the throw. Ending the third inning, Biloxi up 3-0, as we got some nice defense here from the Jackson Generals. Their infield is more chemistry than a science project, turning the 6-4-3 double play. And then Sandoval will strike out on the low sinker. Nice inning right there from Casillas. Now here's Christian Walker going down on the mean slider. Adam Hill looking really good right now. He's only allowed 2 base knocks up to this point. And then a nice hit right there for Ildiarmo Vargas. So I guess that's the third hit for Jackson, as Vargas has been a mainstay on this Jackson Generals team. However, Jason Lelabiajan, I still don't know how to say that name, ends up striking out. So now bottom 5, Marcus Wilson up, and he's going to get a 1-out single, as the Generals are starting to figure it out a little bit at the plate. And then the batter after that, Emmet Casillas, the pitcher, with the bat flip, and the Generals are on the board. I don't believe it. Of all the people to hit that home run, it's the pitcher. Emmett Casillas in his Jackson Generals debut. Like I said earlier, he's not much of a threat at the plate, but that's a total surprise, as Adam Hill needs to redeem himself after that, and he does on that strikeout. And then Wander Franco, not too long later, would go down as well, ending the frame. So now let's head to the top of the 6th inning. Biloxi already has a runner on, and now they're going to put 2 aboard as they get a base knock right there into center field. So 2 on, nobody out for Collier, who goes down on the 4-seam fastball. Nice strikeout for Casillas. And then the batter after that will ground into a 3-6-2 double play, as that would actually end Casillas' day after 6 innings. So now on to the top of the 7th. Elvis Luciano will enter the game for the Generals as he strikes out a pinch hitter right there. His first strikeout with the Generals, as he was acquired via a trade. And then a nice almost double play attempt. However, Marcus Wilson slides to first. It works, so he is safe, but it wouldn't matter as the pinch hitter Sam Hilliard will do nothing with it as he grounds out to second, ending the 7th inning. So now on to the 8th inning, as Biloxi still leads it 3-2. Let's go top 8 for Nunez. More blind than Helen Keller. I don't know what he was swinging at. That's Curtis Mora with the strikeout. So now bottom 8. Let's get things a little bit interesting here as to start the inning off. That will be a triple here for the Generals, as that is Daniel Sexton sliding into third base for the 3-bagger. Quite the opportunity here for Wander Franco, as that goes over the head of the shortstop. Franco is shopping gaps. Sexton scores, and that'll be a no-out double for Wander Franco. So just like that, the Generals are in quite the position. And then not too long later, with 2 outs, Ildeirmo Vargas will ground that one into center. Franco scores, and the Jackson Generals will take a 4-3 lead as Ildeirmo Vargas, the 29-year-old veteran, making the play. Now let's enter the 9th inning. The Shockers need this as they get a strikeout right there. Wilson is the last hope, and he's going to ground out to the pitcher. And the Jackson Generals will start the season off with a 1-0 record. Quite the game. Huge double from Franco in the 8th, and then the Ildeirmo Vargas go-ahead single clinched it off. But I think we have to talk about Emmett Casillas here. 6 innings, only allowing 3 earned runs. He was solid on the mound, but his bat flip home run was the story of the game. So now here's a look at the AAA team. These guys are the defending AAA champions, and for the most part, this roster is still similar. You still got the core of guys like Kyler Murray, Alex Healy, Jazz Chisholm, Joe Adell, and then in the pitching mound, you still have the ace in Henry Owens and some other very talented players. I don't know why it didn't show the lineup and all the batters, but oh well, it's not the end of the world. As the opponent here is the Fresno Grizzlies, the AAA affiliate of the Washington Nationals, as Sterling Sharp will be on the mound, not to be mistaken with the former Packers receiver, as here's Harmon Skaggs with 2 outs, grounding to first, as you can see, the pitchers would dominate early on. Here's a look at Henry Owens here for the Reno Aces, as Owens, those are his stats when he was with the Major League club last year. He spent most of his time down in AAA, where he was the ace of the staff. As his first batter, Stevenson, thought that was a walk. However, he's instead going to strike out looking. And then Gonzalez will go down on a 12-6 curveball. Beautiful pitch from Henry Owens. His second strikeout of the day as we enter top 2. Alex Healy goes down on the low heat. And then Drew Ellis now rips that one by the first baseman for a single. The first hit of the season here for Reno, as Drew Ellis has been a mainstay on this Aces team for a few years now. However, it would not matter, as the Aces would end up striking out, ending the frame. Now into the 2nd inning, runner on first. Harmon Skaggs barely tags second base in time. So he was quite lucky that the Aces were able to survive that as we enter the 3rd. Henry Owens tried to show off his inner Emmett Casillas impression. Unfortunately, he does not go yard, and instead, he will ground out to shortstop. That would have been funny if on both minor league opening days, both pitchers have a home run. Oh well, not the end of the world, I guess, as we now enter the 4th inning. Jazz Chisholm over to Skaggs, over to the first baseman, I believe Drew Ellis, for the 4-6-3 double play. Now into the 5th inning, still nothing as Fuzzy Milkic will start off with a base hit. However, the batter after that would just ground into a 6-4-3 double play as Reno unable to capitalize on the base hitter. Now bottom fifth, here's Calgill up. That one's down the line and fair for a 1-out single as the Fresno Grizzlies try to get on the board. However, it wouldn't matter. Chisholm to Skaggs to the first baseman, I believe Drew Ellis, for the double play. Absolute beauty right there from the Reno Aces as we now advance to the 6th inning. Here's Jazz Chisholm up. He's going to strike out on a curveball from Sterling Sharp. Only his 3rd strikeout of the day, but he's still been dominant in this one. And then Harmon Skaggs up, a 2019 draftee, as Skaggs, one of the best hitters in all of minor league baseball, he will get that one over the head of a right fielder, headed for third base, and he'd be gunned down as the right fielder, part-time ball player, full-time sniper, and Skaggs would be out there. So still 0-0. Here's Carlos Gomez, the former Milwaukee Brewer All-Star. He's going to strike out from Henry Owens. And then a runner on for the Grizzlies. They draw a walk. So 2 on, 2 out. Very important at bat for the Grizzlies, and it's going to be grounded right over to Jazz Chisholm for the out. So this game remains 0-0 as we head into the 7th. Henry Owens starting to get tired as that one, it's a bird, it's a plane, no, it's a bomb, as that is the catcher, Jonathan Solano with the home run. And just like that, the Grizzlies are up 1-0. Finally, runs are on the board, and they're going to try to add a few more. 2 on, 2 out. Henry Owens still in the game. He's going to try to finish it out, and he would do that, striking out the batter on the 4-seam fastball. 7 innings, only 1 earned for Owens. He pitched very well. It's a shame that was all for nothing, as here's Kevin Crone with the base hit. Crone was in Double-A last year. I guess him and Christian Walker essentially swapped. And then here is Albert Rosario, the catcher, drawing a walk. So that'll put 2 on, no outs. New pitcher here for the Grizzlies. Sterling Sharp's day is done. And James Bork, the 26-year-old righty, would enter the game. That'll bring up the pinch hitter Brian Goodwin, who was signed this offseason from the Angels. He was expected to be a bench bat on the actual major league team rather than the AAA team, as he swings at a bad pitch there. However, both runners will advance. So now 2 runners in scoring position, no outs. Goodwin will strike out, as that is a huge play right there for the Grizzlies. And then the batter after that, Kyler Murray up, the former Heisman Trophy winner. He's going to get that one into right. The runner, Crone, is headed home, and he's going to be gunned down as the Reno base running again will fault there, and this game remains 1-0 as we advance to the bottom of the 8th. Gonzalez up at the dish, and he will strike out. An absolute beautiful pitch right there for the Aces. Now let's head to the 9th inning. Reno needs pretty much a miracle here, as it's Jazz Chisholm who will get the double. Huge play right there, or that's Harmon Skaggs with the double, my apologies, not Jazz Chisholm. I've been getting those two mixed up all day. However, Alex Healy strikes out. So the Aces are down to their last batter. It's going to be Drew Ellis. And Ellis gets that one into center field. Skaggs headed home. The throw is not in time. And the Reno Aces will tie this game up. Harmon Skaggs will score. Drew Ellis with the RBI single. And the Reno Aces will continue to survive as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Jonathan Solano, who hit the home run earlier, will fly out to left. Nice play right there by Alex Healy for the first out of the frame. Now 2 outs for Reynolds, as that one's going to be grounded over to Harmon Skaggs. Skaggs will make the play over to the first baseman. And just like that, we are headed to extra innings. Now on to the 10th inning. 2 outs. The Fresno pitching is doing quite well so far, as the third baseman has to lunge over the Reno dugout to make the play. Now let's go to the bottom of the 10th. Carlos Gomez strikes out again, this time from Silvino Bracco from first out of the frame. And then Marmolejos, the pinch hitter, will go down on the curveball. He's just a window shopper because he's just looking. And then now with 2 outs, the Grizzlies are going to start some magic as the leadoff hitter rips a double into left field. So now a runner on scoring position. 2 outs. Quite the opportunity here for Gonzalez, and he's just going to fly that one weakly out over to Harmon Skaggs. So that means we need an 11th inning. Reno Aces survive after 10. Here's Kyler Murray. He's going to strike out. Doesn't like the call, as that was a low fastball from Voth. So now here's Harmon Skaggs. He's already had a few clutch hits today, and he gets another one. A single into left, keeping the inning alive for the big fella. The left fielder, Alex Healy, up at the dish, and he's going to take that one a drive deep left center field, and for the first time today, the Reno Aces are on top as Alex Healy goes deep, and just like that, the Aces are up 3-1. Hopefully they don't pull off a Golden State Warriors and blow it, as huge hit right there for Reno, and just like that, they are in the power position of this ball game. So now bottom 11, Bracco's still in, as that one would be tracked down by Kyler Murray, as the Grizzlies are down to one final out, grounded, or it's actually going to be popped up to Harmon Skaggs, and the Reno Aces survive in 11 by a final score of 3-1, as it was a pitching duel throughout. However, the Reno bats were clutch. All three of their runs were scored when there was 2 outs. And now let's look at the Major League game. The Diamondbacks' first road game of the year is against the San Francisco Giants. Arizona 3-4 so far, a little bit disappointing, but you could be worse. Look at the 1-6 San Francisco Giants, who have hit 2 home runs through 7 games. Here's a look at the Diamondbacks lineup, of course, headlined by the free agent signing Mookie Betts. Rob Robertson starting at third base rather than Mike Moustakas, who's getting the day off. Moustakas has been struggling so far this year. And then on the mound for the Giants is Andrew Suarez. He has their only win of the year, 6 1/3 innings, going very strong, allowing 1 run, 8 strikeouts. So now let's start with Nick Williams. He's going to draw a leadoff walk. Always good to get base runners on early if you're Arizona. And that'll lead to Marcell Ozuna. He thought he should have been walked too. However, they will call that a strikeout. So now 2 outs for David Peralta. He's shopping gap as Peralta with an RBI double. Nick Williams able to score from first, and the Diamondbacks are able to take a 1-0 lead as David Peralta has done very well so far this season. And then the batter after that, the shortstop Marcus Semien. He's going to take that one a drive into left field, and the Diamondbacks will take a quick 3-0 lead. The Jackson Generals and Reno Aces both struggled early on offensively. However, the Diamondbacks are not struggling at all so far, as here's a look at the Giants lineup. They've been doing really poorly this year, but I guess on the bright side, Alan Hansen is hitting .500 for 7 games. As on the mound for Arizona will be Touki Toussaint. In 1 start, he pitched 4 innings, allowing 5 runs, getting a no decision. So he's definitely going to look to bounce back as he walks Alan Hansen. So the Giants are going to start off with a leadoff runner. Let's see if they can capitalize like Arizona did, as Brandon Belt would strike out. Huge out right there for Touki Toussaint as we advance to the 2nd inning. Speaking of Toussaint, he's now up at the dish, and Brandon Belt has to get off the bag to make the play. Toussaint is safe at first, but it wouldn't matter as Nick Williams would strike out at the low fastball from Andrew Suarez. As there's a look at the splash zone, McCovey Cove, where all the kayaks are, definitely one of the more recognizable places in all of baseball, as Starlin Castro would go down looking. Nice pitch right there from Touki Toussaint, and then an absolute beautiful fastball for the former Oriole DJ Stewart, as that's going to be Toussaint's 3rd K of the day. Speaking of strikeouts, Mookie Betts would go down swinging. Mookie Betts has not gotten off to the best of starts this year as a Diamondback. However, someone who has gotten off to a great start is David Peralta. However, his shot into right center would be robbed, as that's going to be Mike Gerber with the play, as Gerber may be a baby food brand, but he's not making a baby-like play right there, as an excellent play right there. Speaking of defensive plays, that one was not great, as Mookie Betts does not hustle for it. It goes right by him. That was the pitcher, Andrew Suarez, up, by the way, ending the no-hitter. And then the next batter, Alan Hansen, will advance to first as Jake Lamb bobbles it. So just like that, 2 runners on and 1 out here for the San Francisco Giants. Now runners on the corners, 2 outs. And Brandon Belt is more blind than Helen Keller, swinging at the outside fastball. So Toussaint and the Diamondbacks survive as we head to the 4th inning. Jake Lamb is now up, and Lamb, like Peralta, who struggled early on last year, but both of those two have been incredible this year, as Lamb does get the base hit. And then Rob Robertson, however, would ground into the 6-4 3-double play. as Robertson, of course, was a big part of a Double-A team, now with a Major League squad. So Touki Toussaint gets a strikeout as we now head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Giants still scoreless, but that'll change, as that'll be a 2-run dinger, cutting the lead to 1 for Starlin Castro, the former Chicago Cub, New York Yankee, and Miami Marlin with his 2nd dinger of the year. So now it's 3-2. Buster Posey up, he flies out to left, and that would end Touki Toussaint's day. 6 very solid innings, only allowing 2 runs, definitely rebounding after a poor first start as we now head to the 7th inning. Jake Lamb swinging and missing at a beautiful outside fastball from Suarez, who's still in the game. He's pitched very well outside of the 1st inning. And then Wellington Castillo swinging at a terrible slider. I don't know why he was swinging at that, as that would end Andrew Suarez's day. 7 innings, 3 earned runs. Now into the 8th inning. Here's the pinch hitter, Mike Moustakas. He's going to splash that one into McCovey Cove, and the Diamondbacks will double their lead, as Moustakas has just 2 base hits up to this point. Now make it a 3rd, a huge home run right there, not only to extend the lead, but to up Moustakas' confidence, as take a look at it, that went over the crosswalk into the bay, as Mookie Betts, with a nice diving play, he has to throw on his booty. However, he would not be able to make the play, but at least he hustled, unlike that previous defensive miscue. As we head later in the bottom of the 8th, David Peralta misses the ball, and the run from first base would score, and the Giants cut the lead to 1. I don't know how you miss that if you're Peralta. Starlin Castro for the RBI. Peralta has to redeem himself, and he does with the single right there. So that'll put a runner on, no outs. Then Marcus Semien will draw the walk. So 2 runners on now. Now runners on the corners and 1 outs for Rob Robertson, as that one is hit deep into the right center field gap. Peralta is going to head home, and he would be safe. So the Diamondbacks make it a 5-3 lead, just like that. As we now head to the bottom of the 9th, Archie Bradley on to get the save. This would be his 4th of the season if he does end up getting it. Bradley just recently won the National League Reliever of the Year last year as he strikes out the veteran catcher Bryce Harper. Now here's Mike Gerber. He rips a base hit into right field. So maybe the Giants have a chance to do some damage, as the pinch hitter Kramer is striked out. So the final hope is Alan Hansen. Deep drive into right field. That ball is gone, and the Giants will tie it up. Archie Bradley maybe blew 2 saves last year, and he's already blown 1 here. And just like that, this game is tied up at 5 apiece. Brendan Crawford would fly out to center here, so that means we need extras once again. Archie Bradley blowing a save. Don't get to see that every day. So now at the top of the 10th, Michael Cone is pitching for the Giants. Cone has spent the past few years in the Diamondbacks farm system, as the first baseman Brendan Belt is able to make a nice play. Then Marcelo Zuna is walked. Inside pitch, by the way. Hope he wasn't trying to hit him. So now 2 outs for Mookie Betts. He has a deep drive in the left. However, it would be caught. So Michael Cone does get out of the 10th scoreless. Now into the bottom of the 10th. Lucius Summers in for Arizona as he strikes out Brandon Belt. So now 1 out here for Chris Shaw. And this is where things get really weird. That's all the game. That's not my fault. David Peralta misses it. That's just MLB The Show being ridiculous, as that'll be a triple for Chris Shaw. Should have been an out. And just like that, the Giants have a chance to win it. So Starlin Castro's walk, that actually probably could benefit Lucius Summers, but it doesn't really matter, as DJ Stewart gets that one by the shortstop Semien, and the run will score, and the Giants, in dramatic fashion, will win it. They got a 2-out go-ahead home run in the 9th inning from Alan Hansen, and then a walk-off single from DJ Stewart. And the San Francisco Giants will win their 2nd game of the season, beating the Arizona Diamondbacks by a score of 5-6. As the Diamondbacks minor league teams were able to get the win today, but their major league team definitely has some work to do, especially in the bullpen. I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie